Hello, welcome. We're going to start by showing you how to make a very simple times program. So to start with, we're going to need an input. So I will click on the input and double click on the item itself, and it's going to ask me a name for a variable. I'm going to call it number in, but it can actually be named anything. And click OK. I'm also going to want to have an output, so the program telling the computer to do something. I'm going to tell it to do something here. The number in is, and then I'm going to try and just save that for the moment, and it's going to pop up. Now this is an issue because what I need to do is make sure that there is a speech mark at the beginning and the end of everything I want to show. So we're just going to leave that there for the moment, and we're going to come back to that in a second. So now I'm going to try and run the program, but I have an issue. The computer doesn't know where to look for the variable called number in, because I haven't told it where it is anywhere, because it hasn't been declared. So I'll highlight it in a nice red item. We're going to click on the one that says declare underneath variables and call it number in. Now we have different types here. The only items that you need to worry about for the moment are integer, which means a whole number. So let's try rerunning the program. So now I have an input box here that I can type something into. So let's just try and put in the. It comes up with an issue. It tells me I can't put that in because it's not a whole number, which is good. So I'm going to just put number 1 in here, and it's going to tell me my output that I set up. Now I want to see this and my program. So if I close this for the moment and go up to this item here that says layout windows, I can choose from different options. At the moment I'm only using this one, but you can add other items to it. Now the one I suggest that you guys use is one that says variables and console, because that gives a nice display of everything that we want to show. Variables are, as we talked about, boxes, that a computer can use. So if I run this again, we can see that I have a variable called number in here. And in my console window, where the program looks like it's running, is letting me type in. So I can type 1 in, and it will complete the program. However, that doesn't really do a lot at the moment, does it? So we need to do something else with that number in. So where we do processing or manipulation with numbers is an assign function. It gives me a process box. So I'm going to set up a new variable called number out. Imaginatively named, I know. And we're going to say that this is going to be the variable called number in times by, which is star for computers, 2. So nice and simple. We're going to set that up, and I'm going to try and run it. So I have number in. Number in is 2 this time. Doesn't really matter. It can be anything. But it's telling me I've got a problem again, because again I forgot to declare that variable. So that's something that I need to do again up here for best practice. So I have a declare box number out, because that's the name I gave it, and it's still going to be an integer. So let's see what happens here. So now I have 2 variables up here. I'm going to put 2 in here, and it completed the program, but hasn't actually shown me anything out yet. Because what I need to do is print it, which is for a program to show it on the screen, not print it out of a printer, in this box. If I want to combine variables, so the boxes that we have for computers, and text, which we have on the screen here, I have to use an ampersand, which is the curly way of saying and. So I want to show the number out here. So I'm going to type that in, click OK, and see what runs. So we've got our variables once again. Going to put in 2 here. the number in is 4. Now that's not right because I've changed my process. So I'm going to say the number in times by 2 is. So that makes a bit more sense when I rerun that. So if I have 2 again, the number in times by 2 is 4. And that's our process. What we can do is tidy this up a little bit by having an output before that first number. So we're going to want it to say, please enter a number, because users don't know what you want them to do if you haven't told them. So if we run it again, please enter a number, 5 this time. The number in times by 2 is 10. Okay, we can change that and add some more variables into this output. So maybe I want to be very clear and show people what I'm timesing, what I'm actually doing. We can try running this. So we're going to go 6. The number 6 times by 2 is 12. And now this can say anything you want it to say, and it can do other things. So instead of timesing by 2, we can go back in and we can times it by itself, squaring it effectively. So we need to change the output again. So we'll use the number in still. So we're going to say the number in, whatever we decide we're going to put in. And then the number in squared is number out. Let's try running that. 2 to start with. 2 squared is 4. So that's your squaring function.